This is bigger than anything we can imagine.
But he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky.
You leap into people to help them or someone around them, changing history for the better, no matter what happens. I am going to be with you every step of the way until we get you home.
There's a starman waiting.
What do I do?
What do? You're the getaway man! Get us away, man!
You can do this, all right? Put it in first and punch him. You have 2 cop cars on his hill. You need to lose them.
Well, hello there, everybody. Hello there, Joe BNCO.
Hello.
And hello to everyone that's watching right now, which is Brian Dupree. Thank you for the early hello. And Tardvark, let's fucking go. Ladies and gentlemen, we just literally finished episode 5 of Quantum Leap. And welcome to Quantum Recon. Your initial thoughts, non-spoiler, Joe, of the episode.
We were right in the last episode, with the last episode of the show when we talked about it.
Yeah.
We were correct at the time period. I thought it was a good show, and they are definitely leading to something bigger without telling us.
Exactly. My initial thoughts of this episode was as follows. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit at the ending. But we'll get there at the ending. Very surprising in the plot, very cool with the Western and everything else, and the storyline. It was very simple, very Seven Samurai based storyline, just like that. But let's get to the plot in general. Let's break down the plot, and then we'll stop and talk about certain things, non-spoiler right now, and then we'll get to spoilers in a minute. Plot goes as follows. Ben Song jumps into the body of a person in 1879. It's apparently the grandfather of a father. A father made a town in somewhere in the south, in California, called Salvation. It was a town for outsiders, made by outsiders. All inclusive. If you were gay, black, Chinese, whatever, it does not matter. If you were family, you live together, and you help together, and you work together. He was called in because his son's son was murdered. He was a sheriff, and he was called in to help defeat the evil McDonough. That was the name of the evil villain at the time. And he has to learn how to use a gun. We find out that he's a pacifist. We find out that he doesn't like to use guns, but him and Addison had many arguments because of that. Like, sometimes the end justifies the means. Later on, we find out that a committee board from the Quantum Leap program comes down to see why there's so many power surges happening around the freaking time. 5, apparently. And they delve in more and more and more. And up until that point, what do you think of the episode? We find out that Ben's in the Western. We find out that one of the committees there to check. And by the way, she checks every single person. Addison, the woman, Ian, and Magic.
Addison's favorite. Addison was one of my favorite interviews. She's just like, "Yes, ma'am."
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
You can talk freely with me, you know. Yes, ma'am.
It was nuts. I love that part. Like, and I was talking to a friend of mine. Shout out to the kid. That I was like, you're kind of like exposing yourself by just saying yes, ma'am. You're stonewalling the person. But we'll get to that. And we see a bunch of characters. Valentina, the granddaughter of the person that Ben jumped in. We see that there is I love that in the Western they're very accurate. Here's whiskey. Oh, I just want some water. And then they give him a cup of water. It's all brown and muddy. It's like, that's why people buy whiskey. Nobody drinks the water here. I'm like, all right, I get that. Ben, we learned that Ben has an initial memory of Addison. An initial memory, but not the whole piece. He only has one piece of the puzzle. And Addison, let's break it down. Let's get it. Let's go. You know what? Let's go to this now. Character breakdown. Let's try character breakdown of How do you think Ben handled this episode? Because he's a pacifist. Remember, this whole episode he was a pacifist.
He handled it smart. He did it. He did it in a way a pacifist would. He got others to rally to work together to do it in a non-lethal way.
True. We'll get to the characters in a second. What do you think of the loyalty of Ian and Magic and the security guard? Which I keep forgetting her name, but they say it.
By far, they proved their loyalty to Ben and to Addison. They proved their loyalty. They're banded together from the project, and they're also friends, and they proved it.
I did like that. The best part was when the committee was talking to the security guard. Everyone down below, if you remember if you know the name of the security guard, leave a comment down below. And if you get a chance, and if you're watching, hit that like button, 2 seconds. Hit that notification bell, 3 seconds. Leave a comment as many seconds as you want. Now,
got a reverb going.
I hear you fine. On my end, you're fine. But if, like I said, come on, it'll come back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to character breakdowns. Addison was very gung-ho in the sense of gun-ho, and trying to be more assertive with Ben, saying, "Look, you came in here to do something. You got to do what you got to do." There we go.
Okay.
There we go. And let's talk about the character. The only, by the way, let's go a little bit more character breakdown. We meet this one character that is the deputy. Remember that guy in the show that had the purple shirt and the blue scarf? It's like he was there. His name was Henry, I think. Yeah, his name was Henry, and he was he was insinuating that he was gay, not because he was black, but he's like, I'm being my true self. I'm just living my life. I'm like, this guy's gay, and obviously he's wearing the only person in the whole town wearing a very, very flamboyant purple shirt. Like, it's very, very purple with a blue thing on the side like this. I'm like, okay, so they can't say he's gay, but they're saying that in this town, Salvation, you can be yourself without any judgment. You can be inclusive and just be yourself, which I love that. We'll get back to it in a second.
Salvation is like New York City.
Basically, yeah. Like, no, Salvation's like San Francisco.
Well, that too.
It's like, that too. Like, it's everywhere. Like, everything. We also find out that in the characters, because of the original timeline, the grandfather leaves before the duel. The granddaughter disappears. He dies of organ failure in 1886. They never find the daughter again. He left. He ran away. No. He didn't leave with the granddaughter. That was the thing that I went back and listened to it. He left with the granddaughter, but she disappeared, and he felt regret, so he just stayed in San Francisco until 1886 of organ failure. They never found the daughter. I mean, the granddaughter. They never did. We also find out because of the original timeline, McDonough was trying to run out everybody so that the railroad can make a railroad there. And the original history was as such that they knocked it down, and then Salvation was like a distant memory. It was wiped off the history books because of that. Now let's get to the plot breakdown and spoilers. Let's get the breakdown and spoilers. We'll get to the main part, Joe, at the end. Let's talk about the fact that one. Ben changed time. Salvation was on the map. Salvation is safe. Everyone banded together, and as a group, they stopped McDonough. Before that, the granddaughter took his granddad's special guns, that had a nice little white ivory handle. It's very beautiful, and tried to kill McDonough. And then freaking, he's like, and I did like the part that he said, I don't like killing women and children, but I'll do it if I have to. I was like, damn, that's fucking cold-blooded, dude. That's a villain right there. And then they negotiated. But again, I did like you said, banding everybody together. Henry being a sharpshooter who killed anybody for the town. That old drunk who was a hunter, and just his one job was put a rope on a horse, and the guy was dragged away by the horse. And then they literally did a mousetrap. They did the game, the mousetrap with McDonough. He ran into they even did fucking gas grenades. Like, holy shit, they did gas grenades, they did little firecrackers, M80s. They were amazing. And by the way, though, they said they wanted to take him alive. Henry killed the first guy right off the bat. The one that was holding Valentina. He's like, now! Bah! I'm like, wait, are you supposed to bring them alive? What the fuck was that? Like, you're killing one of them.
McDonough was the reward, though.
True.
That was the primary $10,000 reward was him. The rest of them were
Then-
expendable.
Yes, that's true. Then they all survived though, except for the one guy that got shot. Then we also find out because of time, Addison told Ben, "There's a copper mine about a few miles west. Tell them to get it first before the telephone company gets it in 1905." So they got a copper mine. It's like, hey, get their copper, and when the telephone comes, sell it to them. So that's good. So Salvation, they didn't really delve too much into Salvation, but they just said that Salvation lasted and it was there to stay. So
Something tells me that Salvation will be coming back in a further episode.
And that reminded me of the last episode, like where Sam went to the bar. It wasn't called Salvation, but it was like, it felt like Salvation, like a place that everyone was different, but everyone was okay with each other. So
it was the mine.
Yes, let's get to the B. Let's get to the B point, the B plot. Committee member comes in to investigate. What's going on? Why is there power surges? Magic's trying to stall. She interviews Addison, Ian, security guard, which I'm sorry I forget your name. I apologize for that. That's on me. And Magic. Through the investigations of all four, she basically says the whole plot of the first episode. Something happened. Ben Song went in there. Now you kind of scramble and everything like that. Okay, I'm going to tell the committee. The security guard, being loyal to Magic, like you said, look, I got a Hail Mary here, dude. I got a fucking Hail Mary, and you can put this to stop her. When she was about to leave, he's like, hey, man, you were in a car accident, and your brother died, but you were the one driving, and you told everybody that your brother was. Oh, you can try to blackmail me? Like, I'm not trying to blackmail you. I'm just saying, and this is the part that got me, like, out of nowhere. Hey, we have a machine that can bring your brother back in 10 years. If you give us a chance, we can try to find a way to bring back your brother. Okay, that works for me. And she says hi. And then, like you said, Ian specifically said, there's no freaking way that we can do that at all. There's no way. Oh, you know what? She doesn't know that. So we'll deal with that when that happens, which we both said is a plot point. Now, to the bombshell. Addison tells everything about Salvation. Someone turns Ben around and calls him Ben. Now, like I told you, you didn't notice him, but if you watch the episode again, he was staring at Ben every single time. 4. So that means that person that's in that body, and we'll get to that right now, he turns around, hey Ben, do you know who Ben is? I know your Ben Song from 2022. Stop trying to find me. You understand? And then he leaps. And normally, we see where he leaps. We didn't see this time. It leaps to black. So now, Joe, who the fuck was that? That's the thing. It wasn't Janice. It was not Janice.
We all know who it was.
Then what? I mean, let's say it. Say the word. Say it, man.
Dr. Sam Beckett.
Then this is the question I want to ask. If that's Sam Beckett, and Sam Beckett jumped into the body and was watching him the whole time, which is not, because remember, if you notice, when Ben was in the bar and he was talking to Addison all by himself, right? And then he got up and left. That guy turned and looked at him like, what the fuck?
But here's the thing. Did you notice that in every episode, there was one person that was watching Ben in every episode?
Yes. So I think, yeah. Well, my theory is that, okay, but before we get to that theory, here's another question. If Sam is telling Ben not to find him, who the fuck gave Ben, my apologies language, who the hell gave Ben the coordinates, the new Ziggy data, and all the map? Who gave it to him?
The only
if it wasn't Sam.
The only people that are possible is Janice. She's smart enough to do it.
Yeah.
Or the Pentagon knows all of the information and is still tracking Sam and trying to track him down to get him back.
True. But I don't think it's Janice, because Janice is still trying to get Sam, to my understanding, right? That we know of, that she's trying to get Sam. I'm guessing Sam didn't go to Janice and say, find me. And I'm guessing Sam didn't go to Ben.
It's the government. Yeah. It's got to be the Pentagon.
He's been jumping ever since. He just jumps and jumps and jumps and jumps and jumps. I guess now he could just jump into a body without doing the requirement.
Yeah.
He's like,
Because
just
he learned how to
jumping
do
in.
it.
He learned how to do it, but why? So, okay, but that means, delving into more of this, that means someone found Sam's plan. Someone's found Sam's map and sent it to Ben, and then Ben and Janice, or Janice and Ben, or Janice to Ben, or Ben to Janice, made all that shit and then made it work. I don't know what the hell happened, and I don't know why this is happening, but I know that this is bigger. Sam is not lost. We know that now. If that's Sam. Again, if that's Sam. We don't know.
Who else could it be?
It could be other Leapers. It could be evil Leapers. It could be evil Leapers making sure they don't find Sam because Sam's probably the only one that can stop them. So he's like, hey, Ben, again, it could have been like a thug being sent by the boss. Hey, your name is Ben Song from 2022. I know what you're trying to do. Stop. But he said, stop following me. So it could be Sam. But he's running from something. He's running from something.
The only thing he could be running from is the government. They probably want to get him back so they could. The government probably wants to get him back because they want to experiment on him to find out how the hell he leaps at will.
Yeah. Or it could be Lothos trying to catch him.
Which could be maybe Lothos could be the government.
That's true. And again, like Lothos maybe doesn't know how to control the leaps. So they're just spitting people out. Because again, they had people coming in and out, but they never. It's some weird reason they had it, but they sort of didn't have it. So I don't know. Here's another part. Let's go back to the committee. Magic promised the woman that he's gonna try to find her son. I'm sorry, her brother. That might be the origin of Lothos right there. Because again, she might be like getting obsessed with it later on in the future, and then he still couldn't do it. So she turned evil and made took the technology, copy pasted it, and then made Lothos in the future to try to get her brother back. But
she looks like the hologram from the old Quantum Leap.
Could be.
From Lothos. Her face looks just like it. So
could be.
I'm curious if they're playing it off to do to where this is the origin of Lothos, like we've talked about from the beginning. That this may be the origin of Lothos, to where she gets promised by the program to bring her brother back, and they fail. So she, in turn, starts her own version of the program and is leaping to ruin things in life, like to make things ruin things in life, to get one step closer to getting her brother back.
Maybe that's what it is, because I was going to talk about this too. The theory that what if, again, time changes during to what Ben's doing. We don't see that in the real world because by the time we get to the real world, time has acclimated and adjusted already.
Yes.
What if they find out, what if that woman finds out that the reason her brother died is because of the Quantum Leap project, because they had to find a balance. Time always, like, if one dies and you change the past, time by time standards, to my understanding, has to level it out, so therefore there's no fuck up. We've all
like what
madness.
if one of the people Sam leaped into was one of the other people that was involved in that car crash?
Exactly.
And he had to save his life, and in turn the brother died.
Exactly. Or something that he saved, which pushed the needle of health, of life, of time, and because that's dangerous. Because and then what would happen if you do save the brother? Is he crucial to time? Does he change the fabric of reality? No. If you do that and he changes nothing, then time's like, what the fuck did you bring this guy back for? No. We gotta mess this up to fix this crap. I've seen Fringe. Even the smallest person can affect everything.
Doesn't matter how big or small a person is. The fact that you take a person and save their life when they're supposed to die in a timeline changes the timeline, which fucks everything up.
But that's the thing about Quantum Leap, though. They're doing it in a way that won't mess up the timeline, that it corrects itself throughout the history of all the leaps. But again, Lothos is doing the opposite. If there's a Lothos in this season, that Lothos is doing the opposite and trying to make sure that chaos. Because again, you're right. I think that's a good theory. Lothos is doing chaos so they can counteract the help that Sam did to find her brother to save it. Because the only way to save her brother is by doing chaos to get the timeline just enough that nothing happens. But then, if you think about it, what's happening in the future might be like the end of the world because she saved the brother is a timeline that started World War III and everything went to shit.
Or it could start a black hole.
Yes, that's true. These are things that Magic didn't think. He's trying to save Sam, but you have maybe inadvertently made Lothos. Then on top of that, if that was Sam at the end, because again, if that was Sam at the end, they're gonna say to Ian, "Hey Ian, find out who the person was next to you." There was no one there. Da, 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 da. And then I think this episode, the next number 6, is where Janice comes in. We haven't seen Janice. She didn't come out at all throughout the 5th season, throughout the 5th episode, not once. And that was not Janice in the freaking in the leap.
Unless it was, because remember, last time we saw her, she was going into that machine.
Then why do you say this? It's Ben. It's me, Janice. Like you can say that. It's me, Janice. Like say something.
She can't say who it is because she's worried she's being tracked.
Dude, imagine if Janice put like a secret code word into Ben, and then when she says the code word, he becomes the Manchurian Candidate.
Oh shit!
Just think about that way. Think about that way, because again, he has no memory, and they keep bringing that up that he has no memory. Janice, during the thing, if someone, whoever, can implant memories that would pop out in the future due to certain keywords. We're talking again. We're delving into time, space, the mind, and consequential. We're doing deep into this shit, ladies and gentlemen. But that was
anything.
It could be anything. But that was episode 5 of Quantum Leap, season 1, 2022. As a rating, what would you rate it from 1 to 5, Mr. Joe?
Give it a 4.
I give it a 4 too, 4.3, because again, it was a simple Western storyline. They copied the Seven Samurai movie, and they just incorporated. No, actually, they copied freaking Mandalorian episode 4. Like you can't beat the big guys. So yeah,
it was a good episode, but it wasn't like over the top.
No, it was the point. It was again a lore dump, small lore dumps with a giant question into episode 6. Will Janice come out? Will they explain who that person is? Will we now start watching the episodes more intently to see if anybody's watching? If anybody's watching Ben. That's the part we got to see.
You have to.
You have to. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying. Please like, subscribe, share, and enjoy. And remember, Quantum Leap is all about time, and we're all about saying what we really feel at the time, in the time, of the time. Good night, everybody. And remember, wear a condom. Be safe.